welcome once again to P&B Sports Show. I'm your host, Aroko Tom. All eyes were on Manchester United on Sunday as Ruben Amorim era officially began. 3 new signings, new tactical energy, renewed fan hope, but a sharp 1-0 defeat to Arsenal has left questions hanging in the air. Tonight, we ask the big questions. Is this just a bump in the road or an early warning sign for the new look United? Joining me to break it all down are 2 respected sports analysts. From Benin, we have Ero John, and from Lagos, Walter Odigia is here with us as well. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
It's nice being here. Good morning, everyone at P&B Sports.
Walter, it's been a while. It's like you took a break from P&B a little bit.
I did take a break. I've just been engaged with some certain things over years, so that's why it's not like I took a break.
Okay, Ero, how are you doing?
Good morning, Mr. Good morning, everyone at P&B Sports Show. I'm very fine. It's a pleasure to be with you once. Thank you.
The pleasure is ours. Walter, we have Manchester United with 3 new signings. We have Mbemu, we have Kunha, and they are still looking for new players. What was your take on the match against Arsenal on Sunday?
Okay, it's important I know that before the season started, I said I will judge Manchester United after the first 4 games. Like after their first 4 matches, I'll be able to decipher what the season would hold and all of that. But that said, I think that game against Arsenal, there were clear signs of improvement from last season. There were signs of a team that is ready to fight, a team that are ready to run, a team that are ready to sprint, a team that are ready to do the hard job, a team that are ready to do the dirty work, and especially the 2 new signings, Kunya and Mbemo. I think those both players really electrified Old Trafford, especially Mbemo. Anytime he was on the ball, the fans were on the edge of their feet. Same as Kunya, we saw that run Kunya made in the first half. I cannot remember when last I saw such a run from a player at Manchester United. So I think it was a very, 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 very good performance. But again, they still didn't win. So that's a cause for concern, because they still didn't win in the end. Because you can't play that well, and all you have to say after the game is we played well, we dominated with this, we did that. No, in the end, Arsenal won. Because if you ask Mikel Arteta that if he would take that United performance or he would take his 3 points, he will tell you any day, anytime it's his 3 points he would take. So it was a professional job from Arsenal. They came, they did what they had to do, they scored the goal, they defended very well, and it was the end of the game, 1-0, goal that was scored in the 12th minutes. United could not have any reply. But like I said, I think overall it's a good performance. It was a very dominant performance from United, but it's just the first game of the season. So let's see them next week against Fulham. Let's see if they continue from that. Let's see the 3rd game. Let's see the 4th game, after which we'll be able to give a better assessment of the United team.
Okay, since you decided that you want to see the 2nd game, want to see the 3rd game, want to see the 4th game, before you make a general assessment, let me move to Ero. Ero, we saw Mbemu on Sunday, and he played as if he had a personal vendetta against Arsenal. Just rate his performance and the performance of Kuna as well.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Tom. In rating the performance of Brian Mbemo, I'll give him an 8/10. An 8/10 in the sense that we have watched Brian Mbemo even while he was at Brentford. His performance against Arsenal for Manchester United is something that we have seen over time. I can remember the last time I was here, I mentioned the fact that one quality I like about him is that he has a very massive work rate. He plays like he's 3 in 1. He plays like a tank. And we saw that in the game. He's always on the run. He's ready to attack. He's ready to defend. He's ready to do everything. I'll give him an 8/10. The only reason I will not give him a 10/10 is because he did not score a goal. If he had scored a goal, I'd have given him a 10/10. But for the fact that he didn't score a goal, I'll give him an 8/10. And for Cunha, I'll give Cunha a 7/10. He has the flair. Like Mr. Water referenced, we saw the run he made in the first half. He was very threatening, attacking wise. Offensively, they gave the Arsenal defenders a tough time. So I'll give Cunha a 7/10. I'll give Mbemo an 8/10. Yeah.
But Ero, don't you think that these two new signings is beginning to look as if they have started solving Manchester United's problems little by little, despite the fact that they had no goals? We could see that they had a lot of attempts. Even they impressed me. I remember I was with an Arsenal fan before the match, and he said, if we win this match today, it's going to be only by the grace of God. So do you think that they've begun to solve Manchester United's problem at the moment? I'll also throw that question to Walter as well.
I think, like you said, I think I agree with you to an extent. They are solving a part of Manchester United's problem in the sense that they bring a different dynamic to the game. Don't forget, Ruben, Amorim deploys a 3-4-3 formation. A formation where you need to have very effective wingers. The emphasis on very effective, because that's the basis of such a formation. So Brian Mbemo and Cunha, they solve that problem, especially for Brian Mbemo. He solved that problem on the flank to a large extent because of his flair, his speed, his work rate, and he's a very good goal scorer. He had over 20 goals last season. He's a very good goal scorer. So I believe when the goals start to come in for him, it will be a very good loss for Manchester United. They solved that part of the problem. But I still think Manchester United need a goalkeeper and a defensive midfielder for their problems to be entirely solved. Yeah, so I agree with you. The two new signings, they solve an integral part of Manchester United's problem. Because we saw when the likes of Alexander Garnacho and then the others, they were the ones playing from the flank. Garnacho is a fine footballer, but he plays more of a personal football. And that's the reason I don't want Chelsea to sign him. He acts like he plays football for himself and not for the team. But we can see that maybe because they are just coming into the team. But Brian Mbemo and Cunha, they played like team players. They played like squad players. So I give it to them that they solve a part of Manchester United's problem. But like I said, I think the team still needs a goalkeeper and a very good defensive midfielder to complete their overhaul.
Okay, Walter, do you agree with Ero? Because he has stated that they need a midfielder and they need a goalkeeper. Well, left to me, I feel what Manchester United needs right now is Donnarumma. But as the midfielders, we are still hearing some defensive midfielders. We are still hearing some rumors of some perspective signings. But what do you think about Ero's analysis?
I think the analysis are spot on. Truth of the matter is, I saw something on Twitter yesterday. Someone said Manchester United moving from Sancho, Garnacho, Rashford, Anthony to Cunha and Mbeumo is like going from 1 to 50 real quick. Like, and that's how I think. That's how I think it's perfectly summed up United improvement. Listen, I love those players I just called. Those Sancho, Garnacho, Anthony, Rashford. I really think they are very, very, very good players. I really think they are talented young boys. But the truth of the matter is, they were never. They were young lads who came to the club or who burst up at the club, and they played so much pressure. They played with so much criticism because the team wasn't doing very, very well. So it's hindered these players' performances. What we saw from Cunha and Mbeumo are players that are ready-made, players that are Premier League proven, players that are not coming to adapt, players that are just coming and continue like, okay, from where they stop. We saw players who are willing to run. We saw players who are willing to fight, players that will lose the ball and they are ready to run back. We saw players that are ready to sprint. We saw players that are ready to, give it their all for the entire 90 minutes. So it's a massive upgrade from what they used to have at that football club. So I think Cunha and Mbeumo are perfect signings. But to be honest, I wasn't really all out for Shesko signing. I thought they could have left Højlund and also Zexi, who could have also had some meaning. Not because I think Højlund is great or is good or not, no, but I think he has been playing with some terrible team, a team that have lacked confidence and all of that. So it has affected his game plan, it has affected his gameplay and everything about him. Sesko is a 21-year-old, just like Højlund also. So what's the guarantee that Sesko is going to come and hit the ground running? If United were supposed to go for a striker, I would have gone for a more Premier League proven striker than Sesko. But regardless, I think Mbeumo and Cunha signing, is just good enough. And I think if Sesko can just bring 70% of his potential, that would be great. Now, what do United need? We saw against Arsenal, they played where they did this, they did that, but they lost 1-0. And what's the cause of the goal? A lot of people can argue that the goalkeeper was fouled. A lot of people can argue the goalkeeper was not fouled. But one thing is for sure, if it was, let's say, a Donnarumma that was in goal, Arsenal players will not even have the mind to go and foul him like that, like a small child. I think he's going to bully Saliba, bully everybody that is going to be there. So, yes, the goalkeeper is very, very important for Manchester United. Because if you look at that United team, last season, Onana cost them so many points. Let's not just act like it's Bayinda that made error. Onana makes a lot more error.
I also think that Onana needs some time off. I think he needs to rest. Yes. We need to know what the problem is. If it's psychological, then let him work on it. Let's have Donnarumma come in. Then we can bring him back in.
Yeah, so I think United need to go for a goalkeeper. But for me, a goalkeeper is 50% of the puzzle. The remaining 50% is very good defensive or let me say central midfielder. Listen, Casemiro is good. Ugarte is not good enough. Mino, I don't think there's a position for Mino in this United squad. I'm surprised United are not looking at selling Mino to cash out on him, taking that 60-70 million pounds and invest it on another player. I don't think he has a position in this United squad. So those are the midfielders we currently have, and I don't think Ugarte is good enough. So I think United need a more class central midfielder. You can look at Adam Watson at Crystal Palace or Carlos Baleba at Brighton, which Baleba now is, Brighton said they are not selling this summer. So they need to act fast. Because,
and even Michael Olise, we are hearing rumors that they need him.
Yes. They cannot afford that money now. They should just rest. But the truth of the matter is, United, these margins, these things matter. As United are like this, I can tell you they will finish top 8. They will finish top 9. If they sign a goalkeeper, I can tell you they will finish top 7. If they sign a midfielder to join the goalkeeper, I can guarantee you that they will finish top 5, top 6. So these little details matters. That's what I can say.
Okay. You mentioned the likes of Garnacho, Rashford, and the likes. But Rashford is now in Barcelona, and it seems like he's happy wherever he is right now. He doesn't want anything to do with Ruben Amorim. But we have some players that have just come back from loan. So if Manchester United is going to replace some of these players, what will happen to the likes of Antonio Garnacho and Onana? What do you think? Do you think that they should also cash out on them by selling them, or do you think they should just loan them out as usual?
Okay, let me start by the Onana situation. The truth of the matter is we've seen what they've done to Rasmus Højlund. The kid didn't want to go. He didn't want to leave. He made it clear right from the beginning that he would love to stay at United and fight for his place. But immediately United signed Shesko, it became obvious that they don't want him, and I don't like the treatment. Listen, sometimes we criticize players. People are criticizing Isak for the way he has acted because he wants a move. But just take a look at the way United have treated Højlund because they want to move him on. So these details matters. But like I said, still speaking on the question you asked, it is not. Onana hasn't performed for 2 years. He has been at United for 2 seasons and he hasn't performed. He has caused, I think he has made the most errors leading to goals in Premier League since he came to the Premier League. He has made most errors leading to goal than any other goalkeeper in the division. So that's not good enough. That is the Manchester United goalkeeper we are talking about here. So for me, if United gets in a world-class goalkeeper, a good goalkeeper, the goalkeeper automatically becomes the first choice. If Onana wants to stay, good and fine, he becomes a backup to that goalkeeper. If he doesn't want to become a backup, he can leave. And it's as simple as ABCD. As for the Garnacho, I think the club has put players like Garnacho, Sancho, Anthony on the transfer list. They haven't just gotten offers yet suitable for them to sell them. So I think they will sell those players. They will move on from those players because, like you talk about Rashford now performing very well at what's it called now, Barcelona. It's the same way Anthony performed very well at Real Betis while he was at loan. Garnacho will perform at any club he will go to.
Yes,
Sancho
Walter.
will perform at any club he will go to. The truth of the matter is these players are good players, but they are not just the perfect fit for Manchester United at this very time. If they go to a club whereby they can be able to, you take full advantage of their potential and, a club that will match what they bring to the table, they will perform. But for Manchester United right now, I don't think they are the good players or they are the players that United need. So that's just that concerning that.
Okay, so we just hope that Onana's case, when there's a new goalkeeper, will not be a beggar with a choice. So right now we'll take a short break, but when we return, we'll dive into how Manchester United played tactically and how their fans are reacting on the early setback and what lies ahead for Ruben Amorim and his squad. Don't go anywhere. P&B Sports shows continue right after this break. Okay, so welcome back to P&B Sports Show. If you are just joining us, we've been talking about Manchester United's defeat to Arsenal and the question already surrounding the leadership by Ruben Amorim. So let's get back into it. We still have John, and we have our Oga, our sports analyst, Walter Odige, virtually. We've looked at how we looked at the 3-4-3 formation of Ruben Amorim. We've seen the way these players have played the first match. Ero, do you think that the way they played the first match is moving forward, that they are actually moving into Ruben Amorim's philosophy of pressing that ball and pushing that ball? What do you think, Ero?
Yes, I agree with you, Mr. Tom. I think with the way they played that we watched on Sunday, they are gradually blending into Ruben Amorim's tactics and formation, his style of play, using the 3-4-3 formation. I mean, this is a formation he has declared from late last season and even down to pre-season. And then going into the match, if you watch the match carefully, you will see how some of the players have actually, they've taken a blend. They now understand the formation, the likes of Patrick Dogu, the likes of Diogo Dalot, they understand it now, and the Manchester United played well. Then going into the season, like I said before, the only setback I see from that formation is if they don't get a defensive midfielder or a central midfielder, like Mr. Walter said, because the likes of Casemiro is very old. He can no longer meet up to the speed and tenacity of the league. The likes of Ugarte is not strong enough. Ugarte is, I'll call him a lazy midfielder. He's not strong enough to meet up with the standard. So I think when they are able to get big, because for such a formation to thrive, you need a very, very strong central midfielder. I mean, a very strong central midfielder. I can remember when the likes of Antonio Conte was deploying that formation when he was at Chelsea, the 3-4-3. We had the likes of Kante, we had the likes of Matic to mount the midfield. Those were powerhouses. So you need a powerhouse and very effective fullbacks when playing that formation. Patrick Dogu can do well, but like I said, they need a central midfielder for them to advance in such a formation going into the season. Thank you.
Okay. But I don't know. I feel we might have a problem with Manchester United if they do not perform, or if we do not find them in the top 6, top 7 positions. Because if we look at the history of Manchester United has been a team that doesn't give their managers or coaches time to grow. But for the first time, we are seeing something different. It seems as if they actually want to give Ruben Amorim time to grow. Walter, what is your opinion? How many seasons do you think Ruben Amorim needs to grow this team and to build this team? And what is your expectation for this season for Manchester United?
Um, Thank you. One thing in football is one of the most important thing in football is you need time, and one thing we don't have in modern football is time. The truth of the matter is, um, Ruben Amorim has proven to be a very stubborn manager. You know, there were calls for him last season from the English media, from the press, telling him, this your 3 at the back, your 3-4-2 formation. It isn't working. Why don't you change it? Why don't you change it to something that is more convenient to the player? And I was looking from afar and I was thinking, who has this stubborn head? Who has this strong head? Because he totally ignored everybody. He kept on defending his formation.
And I think we noticed that when he had issues with Rashford.
Yes, and he played his formation till the very end. Now, starting the new season, we already knew that Ruben Amorim was going to, go back to his 3 at the back, his preferred formation. And lo and behold, when United was chasing the game and he wanted to take off Shaw, he still brought in Maguire to, I think he's someone that is hell bent on his principles, is hell bent on how he sees football, is hell bent on how he wants his team to play and all of that. So for me personally, I am a little bit, I'm not the biggest fan of a manager holding out just one formation or one tactics and all of that. But if he believes, I think where he's coming from is, listen, I did this thing at Sporting for good 3 years and I won 3 league titles. I qualified for Champions League. I beat really good team in the Champions League with these tactics. So I believe if we can get it working, if we can get it together, uh, yeah, it's going to come out very well. We are going to be an unbeatable force, and I think that's what he's thinking in his head, and I think he can achieve that. But why? What does he need to achieve that? He will need time, and he will need his preferred players. So will he get the time? I cannot say, because if he doesn't start picking results, if he doesn't start doing well, if United doesn't start winning back-to-back games before now till November, trust me, his head is going to be in for the sack. But that said, if he can hit the ground running, if he start winning games, he will get that time. Now, he doesn't need to win all the old games. He doesn't need to win 10 matches on a row. Just show signs of improvement. Just win the games that are winnable. Even if you are losing to the Arsenals, the Manchester City, the Liverpool, okay, they can spare your blushes. But yeah, you don't lose to Fulham. You shouldn't be losing to Sunderland. You shouldn't be losing to those lesser clubs. Pick points, because that's what they were doing last season. United were losing to literally anybody and everybody. So for me, that's one thing, time. And secondly, he has to be supported, fully backed with the players he wants. That's a very important part. And one of the player I think United and Amorim is crying out for is a central midfielder that can carry the ball from the defense and turn it into attack immediately. Like United are crying for somebody.
But there is a central midfielder in I think Brighton as well, that they had interest in. What was his name?
Brighton says it's not for sale.
Baleba, yes.
But Brighton said it's not for sale. So you move on to the other targets. Look for somebody that can come in and do a very, very good job.
Recommend a player for Manchester United. I think we need to tag them when we are posting this particular clip.
If I have to recommend a player right now, Baleba is obviously listed. I will pick Baleba over anybody 10 times. But trust me, Brighton have said, you know what, he's not going to be for sale this summer till next summer. What should United do? United should be smart. Try and get someone in that can do a good job this summer, and next summer you can still be part of the team. It will only make the team stronger to have Baleba and this type of player. So who would I recommend for Manchester United? I'll go for Ederson at Atalanta. I think Ederson is not same as Baleba, but he offers almost the same. He's a player that is tenacious. He works hard in the midfield. He wins his doors. It makes his tackles. He recovers the ball and it sets the ball up for attack immediately. So I'll go for Ederson. How much will Ederson cost? I think with 40 million, United will be able to do that deal for Ederson. That is a good fair price.
For United to be able to spend over 200 million at least, they should be able to spare 40 million for him.
Definitely. Now, why am I saying Ederson? I would have said Watson from Crystal Palace. Trust me, that deal is going to cost United nothing less than £100 million. So I won't go for Watson because of that reason. So just go for Ederson for 40 million. Then next summer you get your Carlos Baleba for 80 million. That is a fair price. Now you have two very good midfielders for Amorim. But that being said, anybody they are going to go for, it has to be somebody that can do a very good job for Ruben Amorim, because Amorim needs a midfielder. Without a midfielder, not this one we are saying, United are just one Brian Mbeumo or Matheus Cunha injury away from returning back to square one where they were last season, because the midfield is still terrible.
Okay. Well, I think what we'll be praying for is that they should get a central midfielder, and they should get one that is affordable and one that will create immediate impact. Thank you so much to my guests, Ero John and Walter Odighe, for their sharp insights today. One match doesn't define a season, but in a club like Manchester United, every game speaks loudly, especially under a manager like Ruben Amorim. As fans wait to see what's next for Ruben, one thing is clear: the road back to greatness is still under construction. That's it from us. I'm Arokotom, and you've been watching P&B Sports Show. Do have a blessed day.